Okay, so let me take this session on case study for Steel Authority of India Limited. Let me tell you what is a case study. Case study is he will give you the real situation case of some industry, and he will give you a 2-3 pages of the case. You have to read that, and you have to find the solution to that case. There will be a question in the case. Through the case, he will be asking you some question, and then you have to solve that particular case and give some kind of suggestion. Industrial safety is one of the very, very important case studies. And in industrial safety, the most important thing comes is the firefighting. So, Steel Authority of India Limited, many case studies are asked related to firefighting and industrial safety. And I'm showing you one of such case studies. So, let me bring it on your screen. So, maybe you can read this particular case study. So, I'll be providing you this in the form of a PDF also, this case study for you. You can read this case study. You're the member of CII, Confederation of Indian Industry, and you represent the chemical industries of North Zone. Some labs were observed related to fire safety in Indian chemical industries, especially small scale sector. So CII made a team who are to analyze the entire situation and provide the recommendation. So you have to provide recommendation for improvement of fire safeties in Indian industries, especially chemical industries. That is the task given to you. So the task is you are to provide. This is the task, friends, which is given to you. That is the most important thing, and you have to note down the task. The task is to provide the recommendation for improvement of fire safeties in Indian industries. That is the task. Now, he has given you the case study of some chemical industry, chemical factory, and that case study you can go through that. You can read that case study. I'm going to show you that. It's a ABC chemical factory. Read it out, and then I show you the next part of that. Okay, friends. So you have the detailed case study of ABC company, and you saw that. आपको recommendation देनी है. What should be the recommendation given to the factories, chemical factories, to prevent the fire, for fire safety? You will have strict 15 minutes, and after that 15 minutes at exact 9 o'clock, you have to give your recommendation. Please go ahead now. Start your discussion, friends.
Yes. So good morning, friends. So I would like to take the opportunity to initiate the discussion on the chemical factories and the fire systems. So it is very dangerous things. The nowadays the chemical factories are they are established in the dwelling areas. The most of the residential areas are surrounded the factories. So it is very difficult if any fire accidents are arises. So it will lead to the more and more problem to the surrounding areas. So there will be automatic fire detection and suppression systems are there. So it will be very sophisticated methods of to tackle the fires. So if in any case the fire is evolved, the automatic fire detection systems are operated by using the sensor, so they can be tackled. So in chemical factories, there will be a separate storage to the chemicals, and the fire electrical applications are electrical appliances are fireproof. So there are many fireproof and intrinsically safe operators are used in the industries to get away the danger of the electrical and circuits. in case of any circuit breaks occurred or any fire accidents with the electrical operators. So there may be chances of if we use the welding works or any high voltage applications are very impure and fire electrical operators, it will lead to the sparkling of the fuels and get there may be a chances of explosion. So there the industries also should aware of the spillage. So there are in chemical factories the spillage is more. So it will add the if the any fire is occurred, it will lead to the very high explosion. So there may be automatic fire detection and suppression systems for the workings, the workers who have undergone the working in the chemical factories. They should be also the well established and trained people. So there may be chances of firing. So they are also trained in the how the fire is tackled and how to use the applications in and very efficiently in easily. So there may be separate storage systems and fireproof applications of the electrical operators and telemonitoring. So there may be must competent persons who are very experienced also to supervise the workings. So and also the inspections. The inspections are in regularly by the superior authorities. So without any delay and they should impose some.
I agree with Surendra, and I would like to
यहाँ
add
पर
some more
एक पॉइंट
points.
और होना चाहिए,
And I would like to add
यहाँ
some
पे
more
एक पॉइंट
points
और होना चाहिए कि फायर सेफ्टी के केस में
in a
यहाँ
country
पर
like India,
प्रॉपर
rapid
ट्रेनिंग भी
urbanization
जरूरी
is
है.
growing then. Because of small lands, we are going nearer to industries. That means industries are away from the areas, but we are due to urbanization, we are going nearer to industries. But industries has to take care of their safety measures, because the people are coming nearer to our industry prone areas in near to 1 kilometer or 5 kilometers range. For example, in our state last 2020, there was a LPG polymers gas leak. So it was nearer to urban area. Due to that gas leak, so many people are infected and so many people are deceased. And the government pay the concession, but they can't pay their lives. They can't pay to their lives. They can pay the consumption. Consumption.
To avoid
Actually,
these
I
kind of
agree with one of
situations.
my friends. I want to give the practical example of this. Like if I talk about the Bhopal case strategy, actually that factory is located in the city itself. So I think government has to issue the what I can say permit to those company which have the means full budget to actually install their company outside the city urban areas, so that if any kind of incident happen, it will not affect the human community. So that is the one thing that government
And we
should take.
cannot stop
I
the
think,
urbanization. We have to improve our safety levels. We have to improve our safety levels.
yeah.
That means
So whatever
if
industry
we
is
factory
already
like
set up.
chemical factories, if in a chemical factories, we have to store the chemical storage plants should be far away from the electrical appliances, so that electrical appliances are prone to short circuit and they can easily catch fires. So they have to be stored in a separate manner. And also proof books are documents related to companies should be stored in a fireproof areas or more distance from the
यहाँ पर
chemical storages.
मैं एक न्यू पॉइंट भी देना चाहूंगा कि अगर बाई इन केस अगर फायर लग भी जाती है तो प्रॉपर इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रेनिंग जो ऑपरेटिंग पर्सनल यूज है वर्क कर रहे हैं वहां पर वो भी जरूरी है. और एक पॉइंट यहाँ पर और भी है कि हमें किस टाइप की फायर लग रही है उसके बेसिस पर भी कि ट्रेनिंग देनी चाहिए कि किस हिसाब से कौन सी टाइप की फायर लगने पर कौन सा अपरेटस हमें यूज करना है, इसकी भी इंफॉर्मेशन प्रॉपर देनी चाहिए.
For
For
that,
that, I want to
fire safety
point
week,
here that if we
whichever
want to
is there in
classify
India.
the fire material, then the proper training given by the safety department means it's implemented by safety department, and
Safety
proper
department.
we can say the exercise should be initiated in every week, so that every
Either monthly or weekly.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
The government
Not
should
only
also provide
the fire safety
training.
officers, we have to
Vocational training will be
educate the
provided
people
by the
also
government
in
or the
that
industry.
condition how we have to tackle that fire conditions. for safety of the public also, we have to awareness the people so that they can, if there are any incidents happens, how to overcome and how to go away from that, and we have to make the educate the people about the fire safety also, not only in industries, but we have to
Yeah, I
aware the
agree,
people.
friends.
I want to
I
add
think
some
So
some
friends,
points.
I think we can line up some points so that we can reach a final consensus.
Friend, one more point I would like to add before the consensus. The fire safety part, what the awareness of how to extinguish it, it's okay. I would like to say one more thing, which is before the fire comes, that is the precautionary part, that is the safety part. Every employee should know what is going different in the factory. For example, something it is not working as like malfunctioning. The worker should have to know that it is malfunctioning, and he should have that knowledge to inform whichever authority is there, so that they can come and check that and repair it. And for that, there should be perfect labeling in that industry. Labeling, if it is not there, then worker also won't know everything in the company. So the administration should do focus on this situation. And
और
also the
एक
safety, the
Prevention
safety
is
of
better than
पॉइंट और भी होना चाहिए यहाँ पर कि प्रॉपर गवर्नमेंट इंस्पेक्शन होनी चाहिए, आइदर इन हाफ ईयर और ईयरली, ताकि देखी जा सके कि जो सेफ्टी गाइडलाइंस गवर्नमेंट की है वो प्रॉपरली फॉलो हो रही है इंडस्ट्री में या नहीं हो रही है.
yeah. For
The
that, I
government should
think
also provide
the
the
best
vocational
way
training.
to solve that is we have the best aerospace drones nowadays. So every company should mandatorily deploy some drones as well, so that the
No, I
surveillance
don't
will
think कि
Drones are done.
it will work. I don't think क्योंकि drones
Actually,
are
drones
not
cannot
available
enter
at
into
every
confined
place.
space or room.
So I don't think
I
it will work
human interference is more enough than drones. Human interference is more than enough.
because
If we check,
in a
But
we check on daily
building,
basis or monthly basis,
chances are
proper
the
working of
fire,
machines,
then
then
how
the
it don't detect?
efficiency also increases and the risk of fire also decreases. Human
Yeah,
interference is more important than drones.
because drones are used for tackling the fires. So if
External.
there is a huge fire happen in the factories, so it is very difficult to enter the people to suppress them. So by using the drones and the spraying of the sprinkling of the water, so we can somewhat extend lessen the fire.
I agree,
And then
human
I want to
supervision
add
is
one more
important.
point. So the workers should be also given the proper vocational training. So the industries also should form the safety committee, and they are giving the more regularly the mock drills about the fire and safety.
Yes.
So how to suppress that? So these are also added. And one more thing I want to add that
even proper training, even if we follow the proper standards also, the fire we cannot
Proper standard of
stop
fire
the fire.
safety.
So
there are
proper
people-
standards of fire safety also we cannot
listen.
we cannot eliminate the fire. So we have to be in a position to meet the how to stop the fire and what are the safety equipments in our industries, how to use them in a time, which equipments has to be, which fires equipments has to use for some kind of fires. For electrical fires, there are some fire extinguishers. For chemical
Yes.
fires, there are some fire extinguishers. We have to know.
Another
We
type
will
of
know
fire
when
extinguisher.
we will
We
know.
cannot use
Yes.
a common fire extinguisher for all the type of fire.
Yes, for all the fires.
No.
We have to know which
We
fire
can't use the
extinguishers we have to use for which case.
to suppress the
Yes,
chemical fires.
yes, what Surendra said, we cannot use water. Like a uneducated person don't know there is electric shock, electric fires, he will throw the water and he will also electrocuted.
Like in a chemical fire also, we cannot use water or any other fire hydrant on every place.
Produce the poisonous
Because
gases.
there are different type of chemicals. Because maybe some chemical forms with a dangerous compound with the water.
So the companies
Due to
also
these fire accidents, not only human, livestock, environment is also getting affected.
Real-time monitoring systems of the fire detection system. So we use that technology to suppress the fire.
यहाँ पर एक पॉइंट मैं और ऐड करना चाहूंगा कि लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी में स्केडा सिस्टम भी इस चीज में मे बी बेटर वर्क कर सकता है काफी, जहाँ पर रियल टाइम मॉनिटरिंग हो सके.
So friends, I would like to say, as the technology is continuously growing and we can't company can't invest in continuous in 2-year, 3-year investments. So what I would like to say is, whenever the equipment is set up in the industry, it should be like 3 times, 4 times safety factor should be followed, so that if the short circuit is happening, the company should understand and replace that product with three to four times of factor of safety, so that we don't need to invest more in another things.
Yeah, of course,
Because
they
we
have to
will cut the
update
source.
Whether the safety appliances are working in proper condition, but they have to replace it for certain time. So for effective working of the appliances, they should be changed that and for certain time. So after that, the time limit is limited is crossed. They should be exchanged
Replaced.
with the new safety applications. And one more thing
I
I
would
want to
like-
add that the proper health
they-
monitoring is also necessary for the people who are working in the industrial chemical industries. They were more exposed to the many toxic and poisonous gases, and there are the government also entitled to some notified diseases. So there should be a regular health monitoring for 5 years also, for 1 year. So there should be the proper health monitoring also for the workers who are working in the industries like chemical
Friends,
industry.
we can note some points so that we can reach a final consensus.
So
First,
there
we
are
solve,
so many
first-
tele-monitoring, and nowadays there is continuous
The
monitoring.
government should be,
by using
yes, the government should be in, the
real-time
government should
monitoring.
implement strict rules. The government first has to
What
implement
will
strict rules.
Even
what
the
will come in
government
first?
implementing the rules,
One
the
by one.
company should know that implementation technique. Government will have rules. When they're setting up the industry, they will follow. But after 2 to 3 years of cycle, they will they will not follow it, because they will think it looks good, so we'll go forward. It should not be like
Friends,
that.
we can
For
conclude
to 6
conclude
to
with the
6
final
months
some
and
points.
1 months.
No,
So
I
first
want
we
to add
write some points out,
Actually,
which will all
the
agree on what
the
the
industry
points.
should also implement the emergency evacuation and dangerous plan, so that they have the some procedures. They should have some procedures to tackle the fire and to evacuate the people and in emergency situations and for
Last
the
2
rescue
minutes,
operations
friends.
also.
Last 2 minutes for you to summarize, and then you have to conclude.
Yeah, one
Yes.
more thing. So I would like to evacuation plan. You said right. So for that, the map should be there for everywhere. Whichever maps
Evacuation
are
map.
there, they are very old and they are
Safe
not
map.
very clear to visible. So that should be changed regularly. So that
So
people
they
will
are
know
also
that.
providing some
Or
dangerous
else
signs.
we can,
So the
one thing
warning
we
signs,
can
to the
add
warning boards also
information
should
in
be
our smartphone,
tagged
so
in
that
the
everyone can
conspicuous places
use it.
where the workings are very dangerous. So they are provided some warning signs.
And the
Like
mandatory safety equipment, wearing the safety equipment should be mandatory. Some of that, like helmets, glasses, earplugs,
PPE kits.
shoes.
PPE kits.
We get so.
I want to add, so the government should also provide the some authorities to foresee the without happening any so they are whether they are following the rules and regulations according to the governments and the safety applications. There should be some authority to foresee the all those things in regular manner.
Yes.
And there are so many sophisticated methods of fire and safety. So we cannot use the water in chemicals or like electrical fires. So there must be provided the well and established and regularly monitored fire safety applications and fire extinguishers in conspicuous places and where the more prone to the accidents are occur. So there should be the works are also going under the supervision of a competent person.
Actually, I
Like
want to add
tablets, we
one
have
thing.
an expiry date. Yes.
We can divide the area which is very, you can say, prone to fire. So in that
Yes,
way,
sir.
we can aware the workers regarding this, that this area is the fire prone area. You should be very careful in that if you are working there. So in that
So
way, we
there
can
must be
divide the
one
area.
supervisor. So there must be a competent
और
person who
एक
is
पॉइंट
the
और ऐड करना चाहूंगा कि जो डेंजरस केमिकल्स या बाकी चीजें होती हैं, जो डेंजरस इक्विपमेंट होते हैं, उनके अप्रोच से उनसे एक सर्टेन डिस्टेंस पे इलेक्ट्रिकल apparatus या इलेक्ट्रिकल पैनल्स should be set up.
So we also
Like
use
tablets, we
the
have an expiry date.
research
Like
and
fire
development
As per
extinguishers,
safety
and
we
guidelines of the
have to write
government.
an expiry dates, and we have to maintain that in a for every 6 months or 2 months, checking the dates. Okay, it is not expired, we can go with it. If it expired, we have to replace it. We have to
And
replace it with the new things.
I think
And want to add
one
some
difficulty we'll face in this industry is we understand the electrical
Like-
panel should be far from that products, but sometimes it will be hard because of the density. So for the existing thing, I think we should design such a panel that a small fire detecting sensor should be inside that panel, and it should be isolated, and it should be having separate HVAC
Today,
systems, so
in
that
today's context,
whenever
many companies are using that fire detection system inside the panels.
Yeah,
Many
I want to
companies are
add
following
one
that
more.
guidelines.
implementation
So
should be there,
the big
then it will
organization
be
should
very
also
easy.
provide the R&D, research and development organizations in their companies for the like PSUs, like the major industries. They also provided the research and development on the how to implement the new applications and research on the fire tackling and to reduce the accidents. So they should also collaborative in. So there are so many companies, the like steel industries. They are also accumulated in one particular area. So they will be collaborative in such areas to tackle the in an emergency conditions. So they will take mutual agreements between the companies. So it will also
And industries also should increase the funds to the safety departments so that they can meet their expenses.
Education.
Yes, it also establish the safety organizations, safety committees, and the more inclusive of the people. So the workers also should be taken some classes in vocational training, like the training so for regular basis.
Yes. Funds should be allocated to the separate fire safety department so that they
Yes.
can buy new equipments and can replace the old ones. Yes.
So there is the regular exchange of the safety applications with the factor of safety for maintaining. And so for the division of work also provided. So like chemicals, they should be treated and separate.
So, friends,
separate
I think it is time for a conclusion. So, I would like to take the opportunity to conclude this case study. As mentioned by Surinder, the proper fire safety and equipments are there, should be there. Is a one point. Fire safety equipments and proper differentiate between the different type of equipments are there. And Sai mentioned the proper training among the workers which are working inside the industries are there. And the third one is the proper evacuation plan. And the proper design of a layout of the building in which evacuation plan should be there.
Okay.
And
it got stuck.
Okay, so Sandeep, I think you're taking a lot of time also to explain. Maybe friends, anybody else can also summarize the points.
So,
Yes, sir.
friends, I would like to take a chance. Fire safety, as we know, that's a very important task which is to be addressed. So, the main thing we have to focus is eliminating the source, which is giving the fire, and we have to control whatever is created, and we have to reduce that reduce that happening in the future. For that, we the most important is we have discussed is the awareness part of that in the industry, continuous education happening in the industry, how to extinguish it, how to detect it, and how to inform it further. And one more thing is the differentiation should be visible everywhere so that people will know which extinguisher to be used and which path to be taken and how the path should be followed. And fire safety will be the most important thing, and companies should invest in it, and they should not ignore it and follow the regulations of that government regulations.
Okay. So, Bhagat, what were your points which you provided?
Sir, my point is one is the proper rules and regulations should be there. Means the inspection of the fire and safety equipment should be inspected by the some audit, like third-party inspection can also be done, so that any kind of malfunctioning or in kind of any corruption will not be there. Otherwise, the maybe the fire and safety equipment will expire and nobody knows about it. One thing is there, and other thing is the kind of exercise we are going to take, like mock drill in a week or some months, we can plan so that our rigorous testing of equipment will take place, and also the workers or whatever employees working there, they can know how to use the equipment so that in case of any emergency, they can use this equipment to restrict the fire.
Okay, so let me put all these points which Bhagat said were relevant. Actually, they said standard operating procedure is the term. You should be knowing standard operating procedure in case of fire, what you are to do, what you are to follow. Then regular maintenance of the equipments is very important, and that can be done if you use that through mock drill or something. So equipment ka maintenance, inspection from the third party, whether everything is okay, and training of the employees through mock drills so that they remain in the state of preparedness. They remain in the state of preparedness. These are a couple of points: standard operating procedure, regular maintenance of the devices, inspection from the third party, and mock drills so that you remain in the state of preparedness. These are the relevant points. Bhagat kept on participating. That is good, Bhagat. So you participated throughout. But obviously, only thing is like technical terms. Like standard operating procedure is a technical term. Today, I'll be providing you a list of all such case studies which actually are important, some 10-15 case studies which are important, and you just go through these case studies, and more or less questions come from these kind of case studies only. So case studies, like when he will give you a case and then answer of the case study comes from there only. You need not to find answer outside, sometime from inside only that answer comes. Okay, Surinder, what were your points now other than these?
Yes, sir. There should be some rescue stations also provided in the organizations. So in collaborative mode, or whether they are capable, so they can install their own. So the rescue stations also provided the training to the people. So there must be one division of work, so which is completely for the rescue operations. So
Okay.
they can conduct the rescue operations in regularly, and if any emergency occurred, they will be in prepared, sir.
So exit plan and rescue should be very, very clearly demarcated. That is called exit plan. You may know, we may be knowing like in case of the fire, what to do, what not to do. Do's and don't do's. Don't use the lift. Don't throw water on electric wires. Open the doors and windows so that suffocation is not there. uh, Evacuate anything which is inflammable inside the premises. Those kind of things, do's and don't do's, and exit plan. Yes, I points from your side.
Sir,
So
workers
Surinder, you
should know about.
participated in the beginning, you introduced, that is good, Surinder. So many of you were in the state of inertia in the beginning. You were not in position to start. So Surinder started. So friends, don't be in the state of inertia for introduction or conclusion. Try to jump on the opportunity and take it. So Surinder kept on participating. So Surinder, now content enrichment is something which is required. You have to enhance your content, right? Sai.
Sir, workers should know the differentiate between the fires and the which fire equipments has to use for what, which kind of, which type of fires, and also the evacuation plans, and
So when you say type
checking
of
the
fire, you should mention electric fire or chemical fire
chemical
or
fires. Yes, sir.
LPG fire. So that kind of thing should be clearing.
There are
So
so many
complete the
classes of
sentence. Yeah.
fire. We have the
Yes.
5 or 6 classes, like solid fires, electrical fires, chemical fires, gaseous fires. So which are all coming in the mining. So I will very
Yes. So put these things actually. When you say type of fire, you Sai explain in detail. If Sai is not
Yes,
explaining, Surinder, you can explain. Yeah. Go ahead, Sai.
sir. Checking all the loose collections, checking all the electrical loose connections, and also we cannot reduce the fire. We cannot stop the fire. We can reduce the fire by before preventive steps and preventive
Prevention is
maintenance.
better than cure. Yeah. So
Prevention is
prevention,
better than.
you have to discuss this on the prevention, and then you have to discuss it for if it's already there, then what to do? Rescue stuff. So yeah. So yes, Sandeep, points from your side.
From my side, the points are for the proper fire safety should be there, but it should be proper industrial inspection from government side or any other side, or third party inspection should be there. And the ऐसे इक्विपमेंट जिनमें फायर लगने की चांसेस ज्यादा है उन्हें थोड़ा सा दूर प्लेस किया जाए, एज पर जैसे गवर्नमेंट नॉर्म्स होते हैं कि एक सर्टेन डिस्टेंस पर प्लेस किया जाए इलेक्ट्रिकल इक्विपमेंट्स, और प्रॉपर डिमार्केशन होना चाहिए इवैक्यूएशन प्लान का कि फायर के केस में कैसे बाहर निकलना है या किस रास्ते से बाहर जाना है। और
इसका टेक्निकल टर्म है लेआउट, डिजाइन ऑफ द लेआउट. Layout design should be such that inflammable things should not be very close to the source of fire.
source of
Like LPG cylinder, wherever you are keeping, don't keep all the LPG cylinders at the one location or something, and it should not be very close to the source of the fire. We know the source of the fire can be electric discharge or something like that. So those things should not be kept there, right? Something like that, yeah.
और
Yes.
प्रॉपर टाइप डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ फायर के लिए कौन सा फायर हाइड्रेंट यूज करना है इसकी जानकारी भी प्रोवाइडेड होनी चाहिए जो वर्कर्स वहां पे वर्क कर रहे हैं इंडस्ट्री में, क्योंकि कॉमन फायर हाइड्रेंट यूज नहीं कर सकते हैं ऑल टाइप ऑफ फायर में। और
Done. So Sandeep, आपको थोड़ा सा फास्ट पेस पे बात करनी है. You are taking lot of pauses in explaining the things. So when you give conclusion also, you need not to name everyone. ऐसा नहीं कि सुरेंद्र, सुमंत, no. You just tell some members said this, some members said this. But if you want to conclude, friends, you should have write up ready with you. You should have written on your page, so that the moment he says conclude, the final points pop up from your side. That is to be done. And Grijesh, you start participating now because you have to do that, right?
जी सर.
So some points came your mind?
जी सर, जैसे कि ड्यूरिंग ट्रेनिंग पीरियड ही हम वर्कर को हम क्या सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशन के बारे में ट्रेनिंग दे सकते हैं, और प्रॉपर इलेक्ट्रिक सेफ्टी का फॉलो होना चाहिए. उससे पहले उनको हम लाइसेंस नहीं देना, मतलब प्रॉपर अगर जो फॉलो हो रहा है तभी लाइसेंस देना चाहिए. और जहाँ भी सेफ्टी रिक्वायर्ड हो वहाँ पे पोस्टर लगा होना चाहिए. वो कैसे हम फर्स्ट एड यूज अगर जो होने पे कैसे क्या मतलब फर्स्ट एड का कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं, ये सब चीजें.
So training बहुत important part है, और training should be done regularly, and yes, there has to be some kind of certification given by third party, ensuring that yes, this premises is fire safety prone, fire safety trained for fighting the fire safety features and all. So that particular certification is important, and training is important. That should be done. No, friends, let me share the screen and give you what was expected from you. This was expected from you. So recommendation you have to give to Indian industry. Strict protocols, electric safety protocols. You have to invest. Normally, small scale industries resist or hesitate in investing. So there should be some safety protocols from the government side, and safe storage and handling, emergency planning and training, proactive regulatory enforcement, culture of safety should be developed. So these are some of the points other than what points you gave, right? Many points were given by you also. So these were the addition to that some points which I think you can stick to, and these are the points which you have to take into consideration.
Sir, please share that.
I'll do that.
PDF.
I'll do that.
सर एक डाउट था यहाँ पे कि
Sir, I want to add one more point, sir.
सबसे आंसर के बेसिस पे वो लोग जज करते हैं या इसमें भी कुछ है डिफरेंस?
Tell me again.
सर जैसे कि यहाँ पर कुछ आपने सॉल्यूशन प्रोवाइड किए हैं चीजों के, अगर हमारे सॉल्यूशन जो हम देते हैं एक्चुअल में केस स्टडी में वो थोड़े से अलग होते हैं, तो उससे कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है या सबका अलग अपना एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू होता है, इसके बेसिस पे वो जज करते हैं?
There is no right or wrong answer. There is no right or wrong answer. और वो आंसर के ऊपर फोकस करता भी नहीं है. वो जैसे तुमने कंसेंसस बेस्ड सॉल्यूशन दिया उसके ऊपर फोकस करता है वो.
ओके सर.
एक ही चीज के 50 पॉइंट्स हो सकते हैं. मैंने कुछ और पॉइंट्स दिए, आपने कुछ और दिए, तो उसका फर्क नहीं पड़ता. कैसे तुमने पार्टिसिपेट कैसे तुमने पार्टिसिपेट किया, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. कुछ तो होते ही ऑब्वियसली. तुमने भी काम की बात बोली है, ऐसा तो नहीं कि तुमने नहीं बोला. मैंने उनको टर्म्स दी हैं, मैंने उनको नाम दिया है. जब तुम वही बातें बोल रहे हो, मैं उसको बोल दे रहा हूँ कि मॉक ड्रिल प्रिपेयर्डनेस. तुम वही बात बोल रहे हो, मैं उसको स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर नाम दे रहा हूँ. टेक्निकल टर्म्स ऑलवेज हेल्प यू,
ओके सर.
राइट.
सर ऐसे अगर कुछ जनरलाइज टर्म बोल देते हैं इंटरव्यू उस टाइम पर, तो ऐसा कुछ प्रॉब्लम होती है, या मतलब ऐसा स्पेशलाइज्ड टर्म्स ही यूज करना जरूरी
कुछ
है?
नहीं होता है, बट मोर द बेटर एज यू अंडरस्टैंड संदीप. जितना मैं
ओके.
वही बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर तुम प्रैक्टिस कर लोगे, इफ यू प्रैक्टिस ऑल दीज group task and all these case studies which are available on your PDF, so certain things will pop up your
ओके.
and in the
Yes,
interview also. So the moment you
right.
say standard operating procedure, so they will understand what is the meaning of that. So there are certain
ओके.
technical terminologies which professional must use in the industry, right? So
ओके.
we have studied that during our graduation, and some of you who have done job, they expect that they should know it, right? So that is how it is to be done. Like brainstorming session is to be done, or Kaizen circle we have to use, or standard operating procedure, or conducting the survey, or taking the feedback. So these are technical terms, right? A little bit technical terms. You have to not speak like a layman, you have to speak like a professional.
ओके.
Chali friends, then I take leave of you now, and